Good. Look at this voice here on this Monday morning.
Where does that come from?
Weather, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's up with it.
You were just sounding fine for the last half hour.
And then I go to talk, and it's like, what the heck? Hey, 600th episode here in this iteration of the main event, Dale. 600. You're most of those, by the way. You missed, what, the first 3 or 4 months of it?
I've done how many?
600 here at WTSM
Really?
TV now. Yep. Today's 600.
Time flies when you're having fun, Steve.
Right. And I think you missed like the first 3 months that summer, May through September, and then you came on board. We should probably have a date for that or something.
You know, nobody knows. Nobody knows when I started coaching at SCA. Nobody knows when I started doing games for Cox. Nobody knows.
Of course, did 3 or 4 years over at the radio station before that. But this iteration, 600. Robert chimes in and says congrats on 600 as well. Thank you, Robert, for noticing. Also, if you didn't notice, a little bit different of a backdrop here as well. We are in a new studio today. We're here testing all weekend and whatnot. And because of that, I'm your humble host today, Stephen McCollum. And you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your tying Dallas Cowboys last night on Sunday Night Football. Dale Hillistrace here, everybody.
How do you respond to that? It's like I understand why you don't want to just go play 3 or 4 overtimes in the regular season. And
guys, with the amount of injuries that are happening in football right now, Lamar Jackson's out now.
Yep.
Somebody else big got hurt yesterday. I'm forgetting off the top of my head. You can. I'm surprised you're even playing overtime, to be honest with you.
Well, it's it was a fascinating game last night. But what a weekend of sports!
Yes.
I mean, I know that my college picks suck. I don't even know about my NFL picks.
Well, we'll get those tomorrow. We always, even though we didn't pick a game tonight because there's 2 NFL games tonight, we didn't pick any of them. We do that on Tuesdays and everything. But college was a little rough.
Yeah.
It was a little
for me.
It wasn't perfect for me either. Stupid USC.
You don't waltz into Champaign, Illinois, and think you're going to run roughshod over my Illini.
Is that it?
Yeah.
First of all, we have to address the big elephant in the room here. I got to start wearing makeup here, Dale. Look how shiny my dome is with these lights the way they are now.
Yeah. Well,
I got to go get
head.
concealer or whatever it is, and I'm going to have to start toning down my head here.
How about if we just both have our heads like
this? Yeah, exactly. I was like, I should have wore a hat. So we'll get that fixed. Don't be texting that in, people. Of course, text us 623-252-6670. Hit us up at TME Sports Show as well. And look, exciting times around here. And I mean, you start off. We obviously talked Thursday night Friday morning about the Cardinals game. Friday night ASU game, absolute thriller, and the weather was perfect after that giant rainstorm. I mean, that was a scripted night on Friday night, right? And then Saturday was just sitting around watching. Well, I know you watched the Ryder Cup. We'll get into that here in a few. But the crowd, the way the U.S. was playing, I was like, why am I going to waste my time watching this garbage? And then, of course, all the Mercury to the finals yesterday. Mercury Friday night, having the Lynx coach just lose her utter mind out there.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. What a weekend.
And I saw the play that she was out on the court on after, and it's like, really? That you're going to lose your mind over that?
I think it was a culmination of everything else leading to that, and then that was the explosions. But as a coach, I mean, how can you look at a player and go, how'd you get that tee? You got to settle down out there when you can't settle down.
Yeah, no, it was fascinating because I saw most of her post-game press conference. And it was a doozy. I mean, I think it's one of those, you know what? I'm willing to spend whatever it's going to cost me in fines.
The problem is she pushed it so far she got suspended.
Okay.
And that's the problem. So her team was without her yesterday. 2 other coaches got heavily fined as well. If it was fine, then it's worth it. But you can't, as a coach, get suspended for an elimination game. That's just a bad look.
It's a bad look. Congratulations to the Mercury. So now you've been telling me all along they're not a championship caliber club.
That's not what I was saying.
Yes.
That's not what I was saying.
Yes, came out of your mouth.
I said they are the next tier down from a top tier team, and they would have to upset a really good team like the Lynx to get there. And guess what? They did it. Congratulations to the Mercury. They got there. Some things on their side. They were more physical, and it was fantastic to watch, Dale.
All I heard was they're not a championship team.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to them, and obviously one step away from winning a championship. Another one here for no, I'm not even going to say it that way. Good luck to them.
Don't say it.
No, well,
don't know who they're playing yet.
because we have a lot of championships in the Valley, but it happens to be the Rattlers
And the Mercury.
And the Mercury.
Last time was what, 2014?
For the Mercury?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they went with it. They had a lot of really good runs and all that.
Yeah.
And the Rattlers obviously have had a lot of
Yeah.
championships.
But, I mean, Diamondbacks have one.
It's just the three big sports. It used to be four, of which we have a combined one.
And then maybe the Mercury can teach the Sun something.
I heard Holmberg talking, and he goes, you call a random person and go, hey, name me 2 or 3 players on the Mercury. You can't come up with it. Name two or three players on the Suns, and he goes, Devin Booker, and he pulled some guy. I'm like, I don't know if I can name 3 guys on the Suns right now.
I guess Grayson Allen, he's still on the Suns?
Yeah, I think Grayson Allen's there, but I mean, it's like
Dylan's on the Suns?
This isn't your mom and dad's Phoenix Suns.
No, I mean, it's just starting and stuff like that. They had media day last week. We didn't even get to cover it because we didn't get to talk about it because of all the football that happened. I mean, think about last week and what the scheduling gods did to us around here, man. Thursday night NFL, Friday night ASU, a big game as well. On top of that, Suns Media Day, Diamondbacks pushing for a playoff. Oh, okay. Fire them all, Dale. That's my fire everyone in the executive suite of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Fire them all. Ken Kendrick, do it. This is an infuriating. Somebody in that organization or somebody's does not want to win, and that's fine.
Go do it somewhere else.
Stop asking us to show up and buy tickets if you aren't going to win, and we'll talk about that coming up as well because it's terrible.
Well, we talked about that bullpen game, last Thursday, and it's like.
Did you see Gallen's comments afterwards? I got those for you. Gallen's comments the next day, and then. And then Torrey's comments yesterday after they got eliminated. Season was over. It's infuriating. Blood boils.
Well, tell me this, because we were headed opposite directions on Friday. I was headed out to Hamilton to do my game, and you were headed to ASU to watch the game.
Yeah.
And I had asked you.
We drove by each other. We waved.
Yeah, I asked you, what's it look like out there? Because the thing about the Valley nowadays is. One part of the valley could get a half an inch of rain. The other part of the valley could get 2.5 inches of rain. And where we were in Moon Valley, there were streets you couldn't cross because there was like a foot of water running down them.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And Brooke is like, you're not driving to the game. They're not playing tonight. And I said,
artificial field.
I said, I think that they're probably going to play. And so sure enough, I left like at 45 minutes early.
Yeah.
And everything went smooth.
Yeah. You got there early?
Yeah, I got there super early.
That's what I'm nuts at ASU.
And then the night ended up being perfect.
I mean, I was in a I'm going to call it a sweater, but I was in a long sleeve black ASU like sweater that I wear for those like 2 p.m., end of October, beginning of November games where it's a little chilly out with the wind. I wore that, long pants, didn't break a sweat at all.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then amazing with how much rain was falling at like 4:35 to 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock and nothing.
I mean, I'm driving down the 51 from around Greenway-ish, and you can barely see a car in front of you.
Yeah, when I sent you the picture of my neighborhood, because I was just pulling into the neighborhood, that was the first time I'd seen non-torrential rain pours on my drive home.
Right.
So I mean, it was the whole way home until I got there.
And then
But
by-
everything was fine. Even when we went to my parents' house, Ireland went and hung out with her grandmother on Friday night instead of going to the game. I mean, my parents' street was just underwater.
Yeah.
I was like, we'd be driving on this street right now, And then I saw pictures of ASU Stadium at like 4:00 where the steps on the front were just waterfalls. We got there, everything was dry. No
Well, I
issues.
saw that. I think you were the one who were maybe retweeting Graham Rossini's
Yeah.
tweet about. Did they open the gates a little bit later than normal?
We got there at 5:15 because they on the radio they said they're going to do it at 5:10. We couldn't even take the light rail because the light rail was shut down because of flooding. They were putting
Really?
people on shuttles, so we decided to go down there and park. We paid $30 to park, so we're kind of hanging out. We got up to the gate at like 5:15, and they were just barely opening them up and all that stuff. That was mainly because of lightning, though.
Okay. Well, you took a picture, I think.
Oh, it was 5:20, and they're like, game starting at 6, and I'm like, we're not getting in.
Right.
Like, when you have that many people to scan your tickets and go, you're not getting in.
And
We got in, sat down. I mean, did you see my nacho review?
no, I did not see your nacho review.
I should have a picture of that. I didn't give it to the guys. Okay, I
Two-
get it.
2 thumbs up or one?
No, Dale, it was a gelato cheese. It was like in one of those gelato packages. It was hard as a rock.
Oh.
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my life. $7.95. It was trash.
Was it warm?
No.
When you got it?
No, it was semi-warm. Let's put it that way. No, it was literally just give me a stick and gelato. It was breaking my chips. It was so hard. It was gross. It was just the most disgusting garbage. And I'm going to give them some grace. I don't know if they're always like that. They haven't been in the past. I haven't had it this year. But look, a lot was going on. Right? They opened this late.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know all that. So I'm going to give them some grace.
Well, you got to get one the next time.
It was the most disgusting. I'm not spending $7.95. This is the problem. You want us to eat at your stadium and not outside at the other things. Have edible food.
But hold on, you said you're going to give them a break, so you got to get it at the next
know.
game just to see if it was a one-off.
I'll go.
It's
I'll go-
$8.
I'll go work some
Steve.
overtime or something
I
and
mean,
get my
I mean,
$8.
you wipe your shoes off with $10 bills.
Yeah, and I got to keep those shoes clean. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. Yeah, it was just utterly disgusting. So, how was your Friday night game, Hamilton?
Tell you what, started off.
Centennial, right?
First of all, oh dear goodness gracious, I think it got done at about 10:30. I think there were probably about 70 passes between the two teams.
I was going to say injury or passes. So at least no
yes,
injury.
and finally, that's with a running clock for most of the fourth quarter.
I was going to say, when did the running clock? Because there was a running clock. I was like, when did the running clock start?
Not
So it was
till probably 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. It was 3-0 at the end of the first quarter.
yeah.
And here's a Hamilton team who's averaging 60 points a game.
Dominating.
Yes,
Yeah.
and not against Little Sister of the Poor, against some decent competition.
They beat somebody really
Brophy.
good last week. Oh,
No,
Brophy.
they beat
Oh,
Brophy.
that's right. That's what it was, yeah.
And they
dominated Brophy.
Yeah, they hung it on them, and so it's 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. We're kind of going, oh, well, maybe. But when you're looking at these Centennials, always a really good football team.
Centennial, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sold that they're one of the best. high school
No,
teams out.
but at the end of the year, they're usually always in the mix.
They're definitely good enough to be in that conference, but there's something about them. I've seen them twice now. There's something about them where it just feels like it's not clicking. Now, it might be new head coach.
Well, I honestly don't think it's that. I think it's. I've always said this. I've known the head coach,
I'm not-
Richard Taylor, for 20 plus years.
Well, before you go on, because you make it sound like I'm bashing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, dad to son, things get called a little bit different. Maybe it's not clicking yet. That's what I'm getting at.
What I've always found out is when Centennial has a quarterback, they're always going to hit you hard. They've got physicality. They play tough defense.
Big
But when they
dudes.
have a quarterback, they tend to challenge for state championships.
Okay.
I don't know if they have a quarterback this
That's
year.
the missing link.
And
Did you see my boy 75? Big dude.
yes, well, but both of them had
Yeah.
tackles. I mean, I was out pregame, and the kid from Centennial, his last name is Lothar.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him. He's probably 10 yards from me. And I was asking the coach, Andrew Taylor, I said, how tall is he? He goes, oh, he's about 6'6". I said, the hell he is. I'm looking at him, and my gaze is going up, and I know I've shrunk in my old age. But I'm at least 6'4", 6'4 and a half now.
I think I told you when they played Queen Creek, I was sitting in the stands, and I think we were looking eye to eye with each other.
I mean, he's 6'6", 315. And here's the thing that I noticed. He took his helmet off. I go, that kid's not even shaving yet.
Yeah, he's super young.
It's it's crazy. And then Hamilton had an offensive tackle, about the same kind of guy who's going to Nebraska. But it was 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. By the end of the game, it was 50-something to, I want to say 15. And I want to tell you, there is a wide receiver, and I'll find it at the break.
For who?
For Hamilton.
Okay.
Who's a sophomore, who last year as a freshman caught over 30 passes and had, I think, 10 touchdowns. As a freshman, now he's a sophomore, and this dude, he's got Sunday written all over him. Right now he's about 5'10"-ish, 170 as a sophomore.
Really?
I think he had 10 or 11 catches for almost 200 yards.
I know who you're talking about because I saw some of the highlights when they played Brophy because they were comparing him to Fitzgerald.
Yeah, but he's a smaller receiver. But I'm talking about hands. He
would go
I think Marvin Harrison needs to go watch some tape of Hamilton. This dude caught every ball with his hands,
Really?
even to here and to here.
Do you remember his number?
10, I believe. I think it was 10.
That's an outside linebacker.
No.
What did you say? What was he? Sophomore?
Yes. Sophomore wide receiver.
6. How big?
5'10", 100.
Oh, so he's that small? Well, they list everybody tall too because like they got guys at 6'1".
I got it in my notes.
Oh, okay.
And I can find it at the
let's
break.
give him some credit there if he's that good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a Hamilton game this year unless I get to the playoffs.
But he's a kid. I think he's got 7 or 8 scholarship offers already, and we're not talking about Arizona Christian and Ottawa. We're talking about I believe LSU and schools like that as a sophomore. But he made 2 catches, 1 catch on the sideline. I counted them. I had them freeze frame it during the game. There were 7 dudes on Centennial that had a chance to tackle him.
Yeah.
And he made all 7 miss. And he's changing. His ball was here, then he cuts back. He moves the ball over to here. It doesn't even look like he's running. And it's
so
just,
kind of like a Wes Welker or
no,
like
no,
a
no,
receiver.
just smooth.
Okay. So it's more. He's not
Not
wiry.
No, deceptively fast.
All right.
And he's a kid. I'll get you his name that I promise you want to keep an eye on because the first thing after the first catch, I go, this is a Sunday kid. And the last time I did that, because I was thinking back, we did a game where Bijan Robinson came up here to play.
Yeah.
And I saw him play as a sophomore. I went, that's a Sunday. And I don't use that term flippantly.
Yeah.
In fact, I probably used it 5 times.
Well, Bijan Robinson, I wasn't even. I was just getting into this business when he was around.
Right.
And I had even heard, but no kids in high school or anything, I even heard that this kid was special, you know? So I was like, oh, man. So that tells you the level you're talking about. But they have a bunch of sophomore 5'9", 5'10" receivers. So you'll have to look that up yourself. But, I mean, that ended up being a blowout.
Yes.
On top of that side. Scottsdale Christian Academy, blowout up there in Chino Valley, 62-6 for them as well. I started delving into, but because we were moving and getting set up, I didn't get to watch all the game film yesterday as well. But, I mean, just continuing on this offense to continue to just roll. It's Mike Sheehan has this team just rolling. And it's an older team. It's an experienced team, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it's going to be fascinating to watch this continue.
It's one of those things, and I know we talked with Mike a little bit about it last Wednesday. We'll continue to talk about it. The thing that concerns you as a coach is you've got a good football team. But you got to wonder about the competition
They keep pulling their guys out in the third quarter.
in the third quarter, and
You get to the playoffs and you got to play a whole game. That's got to worry you.
right, and all of a sudden you face adversity and things like that.
Get hit in the mouth
yes,
a little bit.
Yeah,
You're going up against Santan with their, their skill players and all of that stuff, and it's a different thing. Yeah.
Now I think this week they play
Cortez.
They play Cortez
Over
again.
there, 31st Avenue and
Yeah,
whatever.
the one thing you got to remember is sometimes the records. Oh yeah, you're 4-1.
Yes.
But again, you don't know. I've tried to break it down for to where in 2A there's really I would say 5 teams that they play each other. The top 5, it's going to be a knockdown dragout.
Well, you just saw that with Centennial.
Yeah, but
Centennial's obviously not the level of Hamilton and the.
But I didn't even say in 2A.
Yeah.
But if 6 through 20 play, it's going to be a good game. But if 1, 2, 3, 4 plays number 20, it's a blowout. The talent disparity is that big.
That's the thing. I mean, Cortez lost to Chino Valley like 49-48 a couple weeks ago, right? And you just went to Chino Valley, which you're on those shuttle buses, 2-hour drives up there. Weather, had to be interesting up there if it was interesting down here on top of it. I had to go up there and do that. So, yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see. I mean, Queen Creek, Bassett. I think Bassett took their foot off. We were watching that on YouTube at the ASU game when the ASU game was not fun to be watching. We'll talk about that coming up. 35-13 is what that ended up being there. Queen Creek is just, they're kind of like Centennial. They're really good, but they're not that next level good.
Right.
Like I said about the Mercury, Dale.
No, you said the Mercury are not a championship team.
I'll say this. First of all, Bash's field is ugly as sin. I can't stand it. Second of all, oh, dear God, they are giant human beings. So I probably shouldn't be making fun of their fields. They are giant human beings on the Bash's side. You could see it on the YouTube film. It was like, what?
It's just amazing the size of these offensive linemen in high school these days.
But even the running backs look like offensive linemen did when I was a kid.
Well, this game, Hamilton has one, and I think Centennial has one. I mean, I think they're 6'1", 6'2", 215 pounds, and they're juniors.
Yeah, the Centennial kid. They have the number 1, which is like the speedy, shifty back. And then I think it was number 30, if I remember right. But he's like a bowling ball. He's fast. He hits you hard, and they switch him off. So, it's just amazing. It's like that kid would never have been handed a ball when I was in high school. He would have been like, yep, you're left tackle.
Or a pulling guard.
Williamsfield's good this year. 49-0 win over Desert Ridge. Now, sorry, Desert Ridge. It's Desert Ridge. But Williamsfield is really good this year. They're gonna be in this at the end, man. They're good. Put it together well. But another running clock. Tough outing for Desert Ridge.
Yeah.
I like just the schools that we follow or I follow on that side of town and stuff like that to watch. But that's the problem. Lots of blowouts going on around high school football right now. Has there been a game that's come down to the wire recently? I know beginning of the season there was a couple, but recently it's not. It's just everything's in the bag. And going into the fourth quarter.
Sometimes a little bit like college football to where some of these teams will play tougher competition early in the season, and those games tend to be more competitive. And then you get into the region. Like there used to be a region called the Premier Region. And that was Hamilton and Chandler, and it was all the big East Valley schools. And
they tried to do that this year.
It was a gauntlet.
Yeah.
And so they changed regions. So now Hamilton and Chandler, I think, are the only ones remaining in that region. Everybody else bashes in another region.
No, I thought they didn't they lump all those top level 6A guys? Well, they're not in the same region, but they're in the same. What do you call that? Conference or whatever.
Well, they're in 6A. They'll meet in the playoffs, but or the open division playoffs. So sometimes your region is the weakest part of your schedule.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Scottsdale Christian has found that out the last couple years.
Yes.
They had to go outside their region in order to get some of that competition. So, I don't know. It's just interesting around here. And we got 4 weeks left in the regular season, high school season, I guess we could say, right? 4 or 5.
What's SAU's record now? 5-0?
5-0.
Oh, yeah, because you play 9 and then
Then they have that 10th random 10th game.
Yeah.
And then in 6A, or if like you go to the Open, and if you lose in the first round of the Open, then you get to go back down and play in your 5A or 6A playoffs, and they have all these weird rules.
It's going to be fascinating to see how all this works out.
You know, I do like the upper one, because if you go into the Open and get destroyed in the first round, you can still go win a championship on your on your other side and stuff like that. I do kind of like that concept. If you're going to have, because that's about, we talked about it last year, those 5A schools going up, getting their butts kicked in the Open, and then they could have won a championship.
Well, that's the age-old argument we talked about last year. The fact that Centennial at 3-7 made the 6A state playoffs because of PowerPoints and all that, and that's how they choose. And they ended up winning it.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and so again, when you're the open fodder, and that's been the thing, the seeded 8, 7, 16, sometimes even a 4A team over the last few years, they don't stand a chance against the number 1 seed. And so you know, it's almost like you'd rather lose a game and get slotted in your 5A state championship bracket
And win a champion.
than go to the Open. And because I'm sorry, and I've had this argument with many people, Centennial State Championship ring from last year, nobody's going to go, hey, what was your record that year? They're going to say they're going to say you're state champions.
20 years from now, and they're at their reunion with their rings on, acting all tough.
But if you lose in the first round of the Open, nobody's going to go, oh, so you made the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Yeah, but we were a 5A school. We were playing with the big boys.
Yeah.
Nobody.
What's 5A?
No, I know. It's just weird how they do that stuff. So I know. I mean, SCA really opened up the offense, man. Instead of throwing 11 or 10 times like they did the last couple games, Sean Helgeson threw a total of 16 attempts in this game up there in Chino Valley last weekend as well. So, we'll talk to Mike, of course, coming up on Wednesday. Bruce Cooper joins us on Tuesdays. It's kind of a weird week because we don't have Cardinals to talk today.
Talked about it on Friday.
Maybe we'll talk Cowboys. I mean, just really quick on that. Holy cow. Did Jordan Love almost blow that tie game last night by throwing that ball and 1 second to go in order to do that? I was sitting at home going, what are you doing?
Well, what is that play call? You know,
I know.
It's like there were so many things, and I was dumb enough. We were golfing yesterday. My son-in-law, my nephew, and myself, and they're over there, putting $5 on this and coming up with parlays, and I'm like, you guys are knuckleheads.
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do a little parlay. I'm gonna say that Jordan Love's gonna throw for more than 250 yards.
Yeah.
And Micah Parsons is gonna get a sack.
Oh, and he didn't get him once. Oh no, they did. They recorded a sack.
And
they counted that last one as a sack.
And I'm still thinking, because I haven't checked it this morning, as of last night, that was still under
review.
Well,
I think it was that sack because they got they said it after the broadcast. That one in overtime when he caught Dak from behind.
Yeah.
He technically was behind the line of scrimmage, so they're recording it. So that might be what they're waiting on the official ruling on that, because that should be a sack, even though it's the garbage sack.
But then the third leg of my parlay was the Packers to win.
Yeah, well, that didn't work out. No. That's a push, though. They'll cancel that off.
But it doesn't help my parlay.
Pay out the other two. Your odds go to crap after that. I watched a lot of UFC from Perth on Thursday.
How was that?
It was fun, actually. I had a good time. There was some brutal.
Is it early in the morning or
no,
late at
7 p.m., yeah. I had it on Penn State. I was watching Penn State blow it, like Penn State does.
My Oregon Ducks, baby.
Stupid Penn State. Do you guys have the college football show picks? If you guys have that, throw that up there and everything. So everything's the same. It's just we're in a different location. Setup's a little bit different and everything. So bear with us a little bit today here and everything. But obviously, hey, I'll remind me to bring up Cade, your buddy Cade there for TCU.
Okay.
I saw him create some holes, and I was like, that is nasty.
Yeah, okay. I didn't get to see a whole lot of the ASU game because obviously I was at a game.
Especially early, I saw it. I stopped paying attention as the game went on as much because of some other things. But SC losing there at Illinois, of course. I was in a rush to put the X's on today, and I obviously screwed up the O there. But I told you not to trust Brian Kelly. Told you not to do it, but you decided to anyway. Arizona, I told you that was a boat race. We'll talk about Arizona coming up here. I'll say this. Arizona's still going to have a really good season. They are not in the upper level echelon of Big 12 football. They got physically dominated. No business being on the field. Not their fault. It's just they don't have the talent to compete at that level right now. But they'll be all right against the other teams that are lower tier than them and stuff. And then, of course, Penn State doing what Penn State does. Ugh.
So since you like to
Franklin
say,
and
and I told you don't do this, don't do that, I told you don't bet SC. The Southern California kids are not going to go to Champaign. They're going to have upset tummies. The smell's going to get to them. And the Illini.
They were in the game, though.
They're in the game, and then they smell, a little waft of wind came through the stadium. They smelt the cows.
I got up. I'm all watching that game. I'm feeling good about the pick, and then I can't remember. I might have come down here to check in on Riley, who was here setting everything up and everything, and then I got home and I was like, "What? They lost that? What?" I was feeling good about myself, but yeah, I mean, Ole Miss is going to be a problem in that SEC, folks. I firmly believe that now. They have a quarterback. They have some skill players.
And you get the most confounding thing is you got this Lane Kiffin guy trying to rehab his image.
He's all. Do you see? He's being all funny with his because his daughter's boyfriend's an LSU guy. He's like, your state calls me daddy. Okay, it's funny. I just don't know if I want my college coach talking like that. It's funny. I just don't know if a college coach should be speaking like that. It just leads me to feel there's some dastardly things going on behind the scenes. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know. You bring the LSU quarterback home to meet Dad. How do they meet?
How? Even worse, if your dad is Lane Kiffin, what are you doing? Don't you just nope. My dad's Lane Kiffin. That ain't happening, unless you just want to punish your dad.
Tweak him. Maybe he didn't treat her right when she was growing up. He didn't give her that brand new car when she was 16.
She's like last year. He's like he wouldn't pay for this. So you know what? I'm gonna go date the LSU quarterback. What the heck, man? Why not? So good times there as well, and good weekend. Nice little recap there. And when we come back, let's get into it as well. And Robert says, really quick, at TME Sports Show, hit us up there, 623-252-6670 is the text line. Robert says, picking a team with Aller at quarterback is on you. Also, how do you have a whiteout and wear all white, not wear all white unis? I put that out. I looked that up because that bothers me. Wearing the blue uniforms in a whiteout bothers the heck out of me.
Wow. There's a lot of things to get worked up about.
I don't get it. It's a whiteout. Oh, we're not going to do it as a team. Why have a whiteout?
Okay, so real quick, the receiver is Roy Oliver III.
Oh, okay. Oh, the third.
Yes. His dad, RJ, played DB at ASU.
Oh, okay.
RJ Oliver.
I've heard of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
all right, well, there you go.
keep an eye on him, Roy Oliver, and that's Roye Oliver III.
Dale's out here being like Harry Carey's spelling his name.
Yeah.
Come on back, folks. We keep it rolling. Man, we got to do Diamondbacks today as well. End of the season talk. Set up your baseball playoffs. We'll hit on it today. Of course, tomorrow will be a bigger baseball day for the playoffs coming up. We'll make our picks tomorrow, Dale.
Who do the Diamondbacks play?
You know what? They can finally just rest everybody, and we won't complain about it, Dale. Just send everybody home. Come on back, folks, to the main event.
Bullpen day.
And we're back here, main event. 600th episode here at this iteration of the show.
There's no cake?
No cake. I didn't get cake.
What's Riley doing today?
I know. He worked all through the weekend, man. He put in a 12-hour day on Saturday. I know he put in 8 hour or so day on Friday. 12-hour day yesterday. Saturday, and 4 or 5 hour day yesterday.
What's your son doing?
I don't know. You want him to go get cake?
Yeah, I mean, make himself useful.
I don't know if I trust. Ethan's here for his break working. I don't know if I can trust him driving downtown.
Ooh, yeah, there are a lot of one ways.
In my car.
A lot of one ways.
I mean, we might want to avoid that. Not for my car's sake, for everybody else's sake out there as well.
And we need to point this out real quick that small mistakes can turn into big problems. Small mistakes can turn into big problems. And, that's why Jimmy Johnson used to always say, take care of the little things and big things will take care of themselves. On the football field, take care of the little things. Small mistakes can cause big problems. And so Steve was kind enough to send me the address to the new place last night. And it said 40 East Van Buren. Okay, so I plug it into my phone, and I kind of know where it's going to be, around 1st Street in Van Buren.
Everybody knows where
I know how to get here. Except for Steve forgot to put one more zero in there to where it's actually 400 East Van Buren.
Yeah. You found it.
It's just a little thing.
Yeah, you found it.
You probably got distracted. Your hot pocket was ready, and you forgot to put 2 zeros.
Cowboys game's running long. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. They're tying it.
It just 1 0. It sends me 4 streets away, and call Steve. What are you doing there? I'm going to the address you sent to me.
I did say that. I go. What are you doing at 4th Street? At 1st Street. You're supposed to be at 4th Street. Hey, you found it. You found it. It's all good. I made this beautiful video for people to come here and didn't even look at it. He didn't even look at it, folks.
No, because
the address is right on that.
So then I'm going to go. Am I going to 400 or 40? I'm going by Steve's calculations. But all's good. It's just a lesson. Little things can make a big difference.
You got here early enough. We're 10 minutes away from where we were before. It takes 10 to 12 minutes to get back to that area, just so you know, for Thursday. Just a heads up there. We tested that out as well and everything. So, yeah, look at that. Just get the address right. That's all you got to say. That what you trying to tell me?
Just a little thing. Make sure when Coop comes tomorrow and you give him the address, make sure there's 2 zeros.
Well, Riley's going to handle that the thing tomorrow. Oh, no, for Bruce? Oh, no. Bruce knows where this place is. He worked Channel 12's right around the corner. Bruce knows where this place is.
Yeah, because I kept hearing that, Channel 12, Channel 12, Channel 12. I go, well, I'm just driving right by Channel 12. I'm going to 40 East Van Buren.
Our buddies over at Channel 12, right around the corner from us. Major League Baseball. Anything else you want to get out today?
No, it's a lesson in little things, Steve.
Stressful week, I know. And it's funny, too, because I watched this thing with Peyton Manning really quick yesterday where he was telling the Jeff Saturday story on some podcast or whatever. And this might be old, I don't know. But I just happened to see it last night. And he's talking about how, every week they're practicing with wet balls, dunking the balls. And Jeff Saturday every week goes, we're playing the RCA Dome, Peyton. We're playing the RCA Dome. Boom, Super Bowl comes, Miami, downpour rain, no fumbled snaps. Chicago had 3. Peyton goes, that's why for 8 years you snap with wet balls in the RCA Dome because it benefited at the end. And I just sit there and I go, that is the biggest coincidence on the planet, or that is just next level planning that I do not have.
Well, what's amazing is that's what we used to do in Buffalo. When it was a passing, the 7-on-7 passenger, there was a pail of water right next to the center. Dunk the ball, snap it to Jim Kelly, had to throw it. And we never worked with a wet ball in Dallas.
and you had some issues, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you? And I just sit there and I'm like, 8 years you did that for no perceived payoff.
You're playing indoors.
Yeah, and then you get a payoff in the Super Bowl. And it's just like, there's just the odds of that happening in my fragile mind. But that's also why I guess Peyton Manning's one of the best because they plans for that stuff.
Well, and you got to understand, back then, Indianapolis, I think, was in the AFC East.
Yeah, so everything was a dome. The only time they played outdoors was Patriots
Buffalo
and Patriots.
and Jets.
No, they weren't in the East back then, were they?
I think they were, but I'm not.
You might be
100%
right.
sure.
Well, they played the Patriots every year in the playoffs, so that's they always kept losing to them,
Right.
right? But that would be snow at that point. Snow wet is different than rain wet, though, right? No.
The snow turns to slush.
Yeah.
Slush becomes wet.
I'd rather have a wet. I'd rather. We're gonna get childish now. I'd rather have a wet ball than a frozen ball, or a. I'd rather have like a snow wet ball than a rain wet ball. Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on to baseball.
Robert says, was that a mistake on Big Steve's part or intentional? Well, of course, on air, I'm going to say it was a complete mistake, Robert. Complete mistake. I just wanted to hear the story of Dale walking into another building down here
Yeah.
and just walking around and being like, we're.
Oh, I wasn't gonna get out of my car.
That's when Dale like walking and talking to security at some building.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be maybe it was some of those ASU dorms or something. And they're like, sir, is your daughter here?
Yeah.
Is your granddaughter here?
What's the old pervert doing here?
Dale's like, no, I'm looking for Steve. Legitimate mistake out there. But Diamondbacks, of course, eliminated from the season and everything. Oh, Malik Neighbors, by the way, was the other big name guy hurt yesterday. I mentioned Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And I forgot the other one. Malik Neighbors out for the season. Not official. Actually, I tell you this. It is official. 30 minutes ago. An MRI did confirm that Malik Neighbors suffered that torn ACL, so he's out for the season as well. And Jackson Dart played a whole half without him yesterday. And, yeah, it's just start doing it the way you used to do it. We're tired of all these injuries, man. It's unwatchable. Last night's game became unwatchable when Lamar Jackson went out. It was like, why are we tuning into this at this point? We're there to watch Mahomes and Lamar Jackson battle it out. But anyway, I digress. Diamondbacks get eliminated. All the stuff happening. They have to have their meetings or whatever. Eliminated from the playoffs. I've told you guys all along here, my stance on this is simple. Yes, Torrey and this team did a good job after the trade did. In my eyes, not good enough. Second year in a row with high payroll where you missed the playoffs. I don't care about injury excuses. You showed you could perform in the second half of this year, even with all the injuries. I got news for you guys. The injuries are still there yesterday as they were 2 months earlier. And they were playing better as the season went on from that side of it. It's not an excuse. So we're going to find out from Ken Kendrick and Derek Hall, are you okay with mediocrity or do you want to be better? Keeping Torrey, he's got another year on his deal for his 10th year. Keeping Torrey, keeping the GM, and I'm setting this up for what we're going to talk about. Keeping the GM and keeping Torrey tells you you're okay with the culture of this team and the mediocrity that this team has. Getting rid of them tells you you're striving to be better. Look at Terry Francona. He's from Arizona. He took the Reds to the playoffs this year. He would have loved to have coached here. And you stuck with Torrey instead. You missed the playoff 2 years in a row. So that's where we are going into this offseason, Dale. If you were an owner, spent all this money, disappointing season again on top of it, can you get rid of the recency bias of how well they played since the All-Star or since the trade deadline and look at it overall? I look at it as a whole thing. You got to look at it as a whole thing.
Well, the way I look at it is there's some people that if I'm Mike Hazen, Ketel Marte, as talented as he is not on my team next year.
The day they get eliminated, next day he's out of the lineup.
I just it doesn't seem like he wants to play baseball. He plays baseball in my mind.
He loves the check, not the game.
Yes, and if your locker room, if your best play, quote unquote best player, I mean, obviously, arguably, you could say Perdomo had the best season.
Oh, unbelievable!
Is he the best player? Again, I'll leave that to more baseball experts than me. But I do know about a clubhouse. And if one of your top 2 or 3 players doesn't love the game and isn't fighting, scratch, and clawing to play every day, that's going to permeate through the locker room.
Well, this is why I say you need a top-down change in the Diamondbacks organization. Period. End of story. We know that they scratched Zach Gallen. We know this. We talked about it on Friday. They went to that bullpen game, and essentially they were eliminated on that day.
Yeah.
They punted on that day in the season. They weren't serious about a play. It's almost like the Diamondbacks decided we don't want to make the playoffs for some reason. So we're going to go to a bullpen game. Zach Gallen's not feeling well is what they told us, right, Dale? He's been under the weather his last couple of stops.
He need another day.
Yeah, just one more day. What's one day going to do? I look at my voice. Yesterday I was like, if I would have last night been like, I just need one more day for my voice to sound, I'd sound like this tomorrow still. What's one more day? You might as well come in and work, right? Unless you can't talk, right? This is infuriating to me. Here's Zach Gallen over the weekend specifically asked about not pitching. Keep in mind, this is even more infuriating to me than the questions asked. This could be his last start. He's one of the best pitchers in Diamondbacks history.
Yeah.
This could have been his last start in a playoff push as a Diamondback. And the Diamondbacks go, we don't want you to go out there and dominate on the mound and get us into the playoffs and keep us alive as an all-time great Diamondback. We don't want that. We want to put you on the road to where you don't get your dues in case you don't come back next year. That is ridiculous. It's like they don't want Zach Gallen to have success out there.
I didn't even think about the home versus away thing.
Isn't that infuriating? The question comes up. Imagine that would be like the Dodgers, right? Kershaw announced his retirement, and the Dodgers now he's out of the he's out of the playoff lineup, but he announced his retirement. Dodgers ran him out there again, right? Gave him all the accolades. Oh. What did the Diamondbacks do? The Diamondbacks said, "You know what, Gallen? We're gonna have you pitch in San Diego, and it doesn't matter."
And make no mistake, I don't believe that you're comparing Zach Gallen to Kershaw, but the premise is the same.
Organizational wise, Zach Gallen is as important to the Diamondbacks in their history as Kershaw is to the Dodgers, if you know what I'm saying. This isn't Brendan Pfaadt that you decided to push off because he's and stuff like that. This could be Zach Gallen's last start, and you could have had a home crowd behind him. You could have had the stadium rocking because this might be the last time we see Zach Gallen. You're in the middle of the playoff push. You need the win. And the Diamondbacks went, yeah, it's all right. We're good. It's infuriating. Here's Zach Gallen talking about the move.
I was ready for whatever they asked of me. When those decisions come down the pipeline, I just go, okay, I work here, whatever. So that was their call. And I mean, obviously, we knew there would be a quasi bullpen game in there somewhere, and that was the decision that they made. But either way, I would have been, whether I felt 100% or not, I would have, put on the uniform and went out there and tried to give the guys a chance to win. So, obviously, hindsight's always 20/20, and it is what it is. But I was ready either way. When I found out, I was a little shocked, just because I had been mentally preparing for that, but. They felt that was a decision that was, in the best interest of the club. So I said, all right, be ready to go, whatever today is, Friday.
Knowing how important it is, having worn this uniform for so long, it had to be a little bit tough to not be able to walk off the mound one more time at Chase Field.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, I think because when I left the mound against Philly, I tried to take it in just in case something happened, but I just in the back of my mind thought I was getting another start at Chase Field. Whether we would have done the Torrey takes mound, middle of the inning, whatever. I mean, that's not what I'm in this game for. But that just from a nostalgia and sentimental standpoint, that was tough. But at the same time, I'm not in this game for nostalgia and sentimental. It was just, hey, you got to be ready to pitch on Friday. I said, all right, let's whatever the plan is, we'll go with it. So,
blood boiling.
Yeah, again, I didn't even think about the possibility of it being his last game in a Diamondback uniform.
So
on top of
did your opinion change now that you think about it?
yeah, well, I mean, to me, it was infuriating at the moment because, again, you're going to need a quasi bullpen game is how he put it. We're thinking we're going to need one, but I've always thought this in any sport, you have a chance at the playoffs, so you fight, scratch,
Yes.
claw, do everything until they put an E by your name.
You bring Kurt Schilling out of the bullpen
Or
to
Randy
get
Johnson.
there, or Randy Johnson
Yeah.
out of the bullpen to get there. You worry about playoff game number 1 when you get there.
Yeah.
You get there. And the Diamondbacks, on the other hand, go, yeah. It's infuriating.
I didn't even think possibly being his last.
And then you're treating an all-time great who that might be his last game. You're treating him like garbage. Could you imagine if the Kershaw announced his retirement and the Dodgers went, yeah, we're sitting you down for the rest of the season? It's infuriating.
Oh.
The Diamondbacks, as an organization, we got some more. We've been telling you for a long time, it's not all Torey Lovello. Mike Hazen, there's a committee behind the scenes that makes decisions on lineups, who plays, etc. We got some follow-up on that coming up. We'll do that at the top of the hour as well. But this is infuriating the way, if you're, I'm not saying players necessarily look at this and go, well, they don't treat their players right. That's just, they did Zach Gallen dirty. They had an opportunity to send him off if he doesn't re-sign with the Diamondbacks in just unbelievable fashion for a pitcher that is up there. I don't think he's Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling level because they have championship, obviously. You know, the way they pitch Hall of Famers. Well, Kurt Schilling, other issues. But he's as important to the Diamondbacks' history as any other pitcher out there besides those two guys. And you just went, all right, we don't need you to push us to the playoffs.
Well, and it's the two-pronged thing for me. I hadn't even thought about that. I'm just of the thinking, okay, even if we have to push a guy up, if we're within shot of the playoffs, we got to throw our best guys out there. And guess what? If we make it to the playoffs and everybody's arms falling off, okay, we'll do a bullpen game when we get to the playoffs.
You can't. That would be like me going, "Oh, I'm redoing my house, Dale. You want to know why? Well, because I'm gonna get a Lamborghini someday.
I need a bigger garage.
So I'm building a new garage now because I'm gonna get a new Lamborghini someday. Well, that Lamborghini's probably never coming. So why don't I get to the point where I can get a Lamborghini and then say,
Right.
I want to get my garage.
Right.
It's just this team, this organization. Constantly, we hear it in spring training. Got to save my arm for the playoffs.
Oh.
We got to ramp up. It's a 162-game season. We don't want to start too fast. Guys will blow their arms out. I know how they feel the next day. Is always something to keep this team back, and it infuriates me and gets my blood boiling, man.
Uh-huh.
Blood boiling. We'll talk about Torey and his talk here when we come back as well. Really quick, Flash Gordon checks in on the text line. Kyler Murray cannot see the middle of the field and is running for his life. Once again, the Cardinals put no effort in bolstering the offensive line. Also was the Cardinals' first-round pick. I can't even remember. I just know it wasn't an offensive lineman. It was a defensive lineman, by the way. You've, especially Dale's been really critical. I haven't been as critical. They've been bad, but you've been really critical on the offensive line this year.
Especially the guards.
And
Jonah Williams.
I mean, they're not working out. They aren't what they were last year and everything. But absolutely from that side as well. Good to hear from you, Flash. And then Autumn says there's a lot worse places you could have ended up on Van Buren, Dale. Autumn, some would argue there's some might be some better.
Better. You never know.
We're on the same page, and now we're both in trouble. Come on back, folks. Second hour, main event.
You're in trouble.
Coming up next. And we're back here, main event. Just got a weird text as well and everything. So, got some highlights here. We got some alerts here and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys are still with us. Just kidding. I hear you are. A couple people texted me and said they had a refresh on the text line at the 9 o'clock hour. So we'll check that out. Definitely. Any issues, let us know. Everything's the same. It's just the setup's a little bit different here as well, and everything. And look, well, we'll get something planned here to get some people up here and for the show, or like draft shows and stuff. We'll be able to do again out of here. Dale doesn't remember the draft show, right, Robert? That's the problem.
I don't remember, but Coop said he really enjoyed it.
The best things I've ever done, Dale, that I put together and never did. Glad you remember it. Arkansas fired their head coach, by the way, before we got blown out over the weekend.
It's amazing how many. So basically, you're going to whoever the Steve McCullum is of your university and saying, we need a check. And you're going to write a $10, $15, $20 million check so you can change your coaches in midseason. It's not going to make one bit of difference.
The problem that Pittman had with the Razorbacks is he had Bobby Petrino as his offensive coordinator, and that guy can step in and be a head coach, at least on an interim basis.
Just make sure he's not on a motorcycle.
There's some morality issues, don't get me wrong, but you had somebody that could step in. Third coach to be fired on the college level. I wonder how much of that is driven by NIL and the transfer portal. We've never seen coaches get fired this early in the season.
Not at major universities.
No, you wait until end of October, beginning of November maybe, and right as the season ends. It's fascinating to see how that works. But back to the Diamondbacks here really quick as well, as we're talking about it. So we talked about Gallen saying, I was ready to go. I'm just a worker here. I do what they tell me to do. Could you imagine back in the day the Diamondbacks telling Randy Johnson, hey, you know what? What game was that? Game 7 of the World Series. You know what? We don't need you tonight. You just feel like, no, I want to go in the bullpen and I want to come out. If you need me, I'm going to be there for you guys. Let's do this. I can give you another inning or two. Let's do this. Let's win this. And the Diamondbacks as an organization went, nah, it's all right. We're just gonna go with the bullpen game. Don't worry about it, buddy. We got you. It's infuriating. It just goes against everything, and we're going to talk about the Ryder Cup coming up here. That also did something yesterday that disgusts me in terms of competition and that stuff as well. But then Tori, after the game yesterday.
I played for a man by the name of Sparky Anderson, and if I wasn't a good teammate, he told me personally he would eliminate me from the team. I don't have that power. I'm the manager of the baseball team once it hits the dugout. Once it's in the dugout, I can make baseball decisions. When it comes to personnel things, when it comes to the finer working dynamics inside of rotations and lineups, yes, I have a seat at the table, but there are open discussions. The manager's roles have changed over the past 25 years. That's for sure. The game looks easy from where a lot of people sit, and I respect that. But on a given day, when people ask me about the Dodgers or the Padres, why things happen inside of their dugout, my answers are I have no idea what they're dealing with internally, and there's probably a really good reason for it. So, when things seem outlandish, there's a reason for it. When things are changed, there's a reason for it. I like stability. I like consistency. I like trends and habits. I believe in a gut instinct. But there are certain things that change the mood and the mind of what decision is made, and there's a group of people around me inside of a baseball day that will help me make a good decision. And there's a group of people that are behind the scenes that are making a lot of decisions that used to be made in the traditional baseball manager sense, and that's fine. I want to make it simple. I run a baseball game. That's all I need to do every single day.
Give it the whole system, man. It's not working. It's terrible. Too many chefs in the kitchen. Too many people that think they know what to do, and it's not working out. 2 years in a row, you've missed the playoffs, barely. You've had to sell. You've underperformed 2 years in a row on top of it. You overperformed 3 years ago. You've underperformed the rest of the time.
Wouldn't you argue that they overperformed after the trade deadline this season?
Okay, but what about before that? Well, no, okay. Yes. Except for when it came to the final push. Ketel Marte fouls a ball off his foot and has to sit out, right? And they were able to survive that, and because he doesn't want to play because God forbid Ketel Marte has hurt feelings in the dugout. Then Gallen, you have to go bullpen game leading up to the play. That alone should get a GM fired. You did bullpen games in the World Series. That alone should get you fired. A bullpen game with 3-4 games to go in a playoff run, that should get you fired as a manager, as a GM. You don't have your team prepared to play if you got to go bullpen at that point. Yes, they overperformed. The bigger issue is I'd be fine if the Diamondbacks mixed the playoffs, but they purposely sit their best players when you need them the most. The Yankees didn't do that. The Red Sox didn't do that. The Cubs didn't do that. The Padres didn't do that. The Dodgers didn't do that. And what are they doing, Dale?
Getting ready to play tomorrow, right?
They're playing the playoffs coming up. You, the Diamondbacks organization, looked at their fan base and looked at their team and said, we don't want you to go to the playoffs. We don't want you to go out there and be great. We're going to punt this and just sit out the rest of the season. That's what they did by sitting guy. And if you're Ken Kendrick, you have one choice. And Derek Hall, one choice. Is that acceptable or is that not?
Well, to me, the most concerning thing about what he said, how many guys is he talking about before a game?
Well, remember when they were debating on who the starter was going to be at the beginning of the season, and he said he talked to 15 different people who gave him an opinion on who should start the season?
That's 14 too many.
I would argue maybe 13 too many. Maybe you run it off of somebody. Maybe you run it by the GM just because he's your boss, right? So, but at least 13 too many, maybe 14. Yeah, they have a committee. Ketel Marte, Torey Lovello isn't the guy that's letting Ketel Marte miss games. It's coming from somewhere else in the organization.
Well, and I've told you that before again, and sometimes you get tired of it. I always try to bring my personal experience in, and the Cowboys changed dramatically when Deion came because Deion didn't go to the coach.
Yes.
All the 52 other guys went to the coach.
Yes.
Deion went to the owner and was allowed to go to the owner.
And it changes. It takes all power out.
It takes a dynamic out of the locker room, takes the power away from the coach. And again, I don't know what the communication is like with the Diamondbacks, but when you start talking about, well, there's a group over here that does this before a game. There's a group over here that does this before the game.
Well, I mean, like, so somebody's out there raking, right? Like we've seen like Lawler will go out there and have 2 great games in a row, and then all of a sudden he's out of the lineup. That's coming from somewhere in the organization.
That's somebody who punched something into a computer and said,
Lawler needs to sit out.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Does that take into account that, yes, the Lawler 6 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah.
But the Lawler of this Wednesday?
Yeah. They got eliminated from the playoffs, and Marte's out of the lineup the next day. Not a surprise. We knew that was going to happen because we got a baby in Marte, right? But then Lawler was out of the lineup. You have 3 games left. Yeah. You're trying to get this kid going for next year. Just throw him in there. You literally have nothing to lose.
And didn't Lawler have quite a bit of time off this season with injuries?
Yes. This is what Ken Kendrick and Derek Hall have to decide. And they're going to tell us smack dab in our faces here after the meetings are done. Is the organizational setup what they're happy with? If it is, they're going to tell us that by keeping both these guys. If it's not, they're blowing them out. And that's where we're going to have to look at going into next season how much effort we're going to put into this Diamondbacks team, because we know if they keep them, we know your superstars are not going to be allowed to be great. Just imagine, just how good could Brandon Pfaadt really be if you allowed him to pitch, until he ran out of gas instead of taking him out halfway through the 5th inning because you know how he feels tomorrow. I know that was Ryan Nelson, but still, right? It's just how amazing would a guy be if you put him out there after he's had 3 great games in a row. Instead of benching him, you keep him out there till he runs down. how great can that player be? We'll never know here with this organizational setup. And it's infuriating, Dale. I've never seen a team literally handicap itself from winning as much as I have the Diamondbacks. And it's infuriating. It goes against everything we stand for as sports fans. We see guys, we've seen guys get out of wheelchairs and go out onto the court. Willis Reed, right? We've seen guys hobble out there. They can barely walk. Who was the quarterback? He went to the Jets, right? And with Marshall and Byron Leftwich, and he broke his ankle, and his linemen are carrying him to the next line, to take the snap so he can continue on in the game, middle of the game. Brett Favre's dad dies the day before a Monday Night Football big game, and he goes out there, has the best. The Diamondbacks, none of those scenarios, if that was the Diamondback team, would happen because they're afraid to let great things happen. And that's why we watch sports. And the Diamondbacks are like, nah, all right. We're good. We're good not being great. It pisses me off beyond belief. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If you haven't caught on yet, it's infuriating.
Well, from what I read over the weekend, it sounded like Ken Kendrick is not happy.
He can't be. Look, it's his money. He spent a lot of it. Regardless of what happened at the end of this year, because people like you, Dale, I'm going to get mad at you now, always go, but he went to the World Series 2 years ago. Do you remember that season? Absolutely. Give them credit. Things fell their way. They made it to the World Series and got there. 100% correct. You got to give them credit. But then step back and look at that whole season. Underperformed a lot of that season. Backed into the playoffs and went on that run. Then you pump more money into the team last year. Miss it by half a game because Marte has to take a game off at the end of the season and can't play because, it was cold
Not
out
the
or
whole
something.
reason, but a bad
look. You're not pushing for it.
Yeah.
This year, same type of situation. Now you're pushing Gallen off to go to a bullpen game, and that's the game you needed. If you expended every pitcher and you needed to go bullpen game to end the season, nobody would have complained about that. If you were still alive and you fought and clawed to stay alive and you've used every opportunity, you've got Perdomo out there pitching at one point trying to stay alive. Nobody would fault you. But the way they did it is infuriating. And if you're Ken Kendrick, we're going to learn about him here. Is this acceptable that they literally are just throwing away your money and not carrying forward? We're going to find out about it. To me, if I was the owner, this ain't standing. This would have been done last year. And it's definitely done this year.
Well, the other wild card in this thing is, remember now, highest paid guy on the team, I think, is Burns. I don't know if Cattell's making more than him. It's close. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I know.
But Burns is not going to be back next year.
Yeah.
But yet he's going to be making
a
lot of money.
Puck and Martinez.
That's what I'm saying. Then you go to Puck and you
Lords
go to
and-
Martinez and really what we're counting on to be integral parts of your baseball team, they're not going to be back.
So this is why I'll compromise with you. I think they're a package. I think Hazen and Torrey are a package. I would be okay. Because, look, it's not all Torrey's fault. And Torrey's a good manager. If you let him do his stuff.
No.
I put 90% of this blame on Hazen and the way the organization's set up. That's who I would move on before. If you want to keep Torrey because he's got a year left, like you said, why bring in another manager when you don't have all your guns there, everything like that? You don't want to hire the wrong guy and then get everybody back and be like, ooh, we got the wrong guy here as you make the push in 27, right? But the guy that set up this organization, this isn't a championship win organization. This is a mediocre organization, and that's the guy that needs to go, and that's Hazen. So I'd be okay if Torrey stays, but you've got to make the GM move. I'll be fine if Torrey stays only if it's what you said. He's here for next year, see what he can do with the new GM, and then move on from him or something like that, because you're not going to put a lot of stuff in there. Torrey's proven he can manage these young guys. He's proven it this year, the second half of the year. It's the organizational. You need to change the organization of this team. And if it's not coming from Torrey, which Torrey just alluded it's not, for the 10th time this year, you've got to make that move if you care about the way your organization's going. And I just don't know. I mean, think about anything you do. Anything you do. Your landscaper. Your landscaper's half button, showing up late, not doing this, only doing half the job, getting half of it done and deciding he needs to come out because there's the wind at his back, and it's the blower. The blower's blowing too much hot air and everything, and he needs to take the next day off, and he doesn't finish your yard. You're upset about it. You're not going to put up with that. So is Kendrick going to put up with it or not? That's the question, Dale.
And I just don't think it's that clear cut because I'm going.
I like when you did the cut. Landscaping. You didn't even mean to do that.
No, I didn't even mean to do that. Because if you make sweeping changes this offseason, full well knowing you've already said, I'm not spending as much or more money than I did this year next year.
Yeah.
And yet you still have 3 key guys that are going to be making money next year but not contributing to your baseball team.
Yeah.
Do you wait and see how next year goes and then make those sweeping changes when you're going to hopefully have those guys back?
We're how many years of Hazen, Torey Lovello combination and disappointment?
Well, 3 years ago they were in the World
I
Series.
knew you were going to say that. And Robert's got a point. The other thing you have to keep in mind on this, the Diamondbacks were in the playoffs, and Robert's 100% correct. The Diamondbacks were in this playoff hunt, not because of anything they did, because the Mets monumentally melted down. They weren't the worst meltdown this year. That's the Detroit Tigers. But the Mets meltdown is what kept the Diamondbacks in this as well. Yeah, they won games. Yeah, they did all that, but they would have been out of it beginning of September if the Mets would have just kept playing decently instead of having those 8-10 game losing streaks as well. So you got to – that's what I'm saying. It's easy to go, oh, my God, they were in the hunt. You got to give Torey an extension. Step back from that a little bit and look at the overall picture is what I'm arguing with.
Oh, I would under no circumstances give him an extension, but I would not fire him.
No, it's okay. So what about Hazen, though? He keep him too? I agree. I'm amendable to Torey coming back. The person that is responsible for setting up this organization to be what it is today, where they don't fight for stuff and they don't want to be great, that's the person you have to target and get that cancer out of this locker room. And to me, that's Hazen. Fair or not, to me, it's Hazen.
Okay, and what about Marte?
Oh, if a new GM comes in with Marte, can you fix it? Marte's just doing what they allow him to do, Dale.
You can say that, yes. But
now should Marte say no? But you just heard Gallen, I'm just a worker bee. That's the mentality of the players here. I'm just a worker. They tell me what to do and I do it.
Again, we talked about it last week. If that was Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, if that was who's the guy who won 4 straight Cy Youngs? Pitcher for the Diamondbacks, one of their announcers now.
Brandon Webb?
Brandon Webb. Do you think that they're going to allow them to come in and say you're not pitching tonight?
I mean, you talk about this just on the Cowboys. I know it's a separate sport. Every coach went to Troy and got his input in everything, right? And then the one coach that did it and then ignored him, it sets things up in the locker room. You want your best players part of it. Anybody, if you have a business right now and you have really good employees, you're asking that, hey, how can we do this better? What should we do here? And you're integrating them into the organization, right? And the Diamondbacks, you just had Jack Gallen tell you, I'm just a worker bee. I do what they tell me.
Now tell me this.
That's infuriating.
Is there any chance at all, just an teensy tiny bit, that Zach Gallen didn't actually go to them and say, I'm ready to go. I'll do it. I don't feel 100%, but I'm ready to go.
This is the hard part is we don't know. Like, was he just trying to,
and publicly go, hey, I wasn't 100%. Because again, if I'm Torey and Zach Gallen comes into my office and says, Torey, I don't feel 100%. I'm not sure of it.
But I mean, we haven't heard why he doesn't feel 100%.
But he said it and Torey said it.
But like, if you have the sniffles, okay. You can't breathe out there? Okay, that's different. If it's just your arm's not feeling right, well, got an off season to heal up, man. So here's the problem. You're right. We don't know. We're just going off of what we know publicly. But I'll tell you this. There's a history.
Because here's what I'm wondering.
There's a history of guys being told they're sitting down.
As Torrey's watching Zach Gallen's interview on TV in his office,
He's throwing stuff.
is he throwing stuff and going, that blankety blank?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that this is what I'm thinking. Zach Gallen ain't talking like that if this was July. Zach Gallen's letting that out now because it's the end of the season and he's not happy about it. And he knows his career at the Diamondback might be over. Why is Torrey saying what he said yesterday after the game? Torrey knows his job's on the line. Torrey knows there's a chance he's not coming back. It's amazing how season comes to an end. Zach Gallen's done pitching. He says what he says. Torrey's done managing, and he says what he said. That tells me there's issues in that locker room and in this organization of disagreement on how things are run.
Here's the thing.
Did you hear anything bad about the Suns locker room last year? No. Until when? Media day last week. They kept it under wraps even then.
And you're supposed to try and keep things in the locker room, for sure. Here's my probably overriding question. 150 or 159 games into the season. 158 games into the season. 3 games left. 4 games left. What is one day's rest going to do?
That's my argument.
What is one day? I'm not good to go today, but I can go tomorrow.
I've never pitched in a Major League Baseball game, but like we all wake up with ailments and soreness and like I said, my voice. Could I have called in today and been like, you know what, let's just take today off and let's just do it Tuesday. I need one more day. I'm coming in tomorrow and I'm feeling the same.
Well, if
What's
you did
one
that,
day?
then I'd be walking around 40 East Van Buren, wandering around.
Zach Gallen was able to go the next day, not the day before. Like, that tells me it wasn't that serious. But that's my point. You have the history. We can't let Ryan Nelson go more than 70 pitches because I know how he feels the next morning. And then all of a sudden he takes a bunch of backlash, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's going to go 80 pitches today. It's like, oh, but I thought you knew how he felt the next morning. There's a history of this team doing it.
So what is that? Is Ryan Nelson actually coming into the clubhouse?
No, the organization. We don't know this. The organization. There's a group of people in this organization that's around Hazen that goes no, 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 maybe, yes, no, yes. Literally, they got their thumb on there. It is inexplicable that Lawler goes out there and has 2 great games and then you bench him the next game. You don't do that in baseball. You keep them going while they're hot. So they're putting their fingers on, they're putting their thumbs on the thing, and they're doing that side. And that's what's infuriating about it. It has to be. All the signs point to that, Dale. It's all there in front of us. We just got to pay attention. With the white, got to have string and everything back here for my conspiracy theory. Robert says the failures at the end of the season should be an enormous concern. Regardless of the World Series year in 2023, swept the last 3 games. 2024, lose 5 of the last 7, lose the tiebreaker. 2025, lose the last 5. Sounds like a trend. Then factor in early season slow starts, right? Factor in the meltdowns in the middle of the season. That World Series, you remember that July? They couldn't win a game in July.
No, I don't remember the July. I remember the World Series.
He also says, Robert also says, a new GM is going to want his own guy as manager. Well, that's my argument as well. That's why you do them both. And Robert says, need to move on from both of them. Throw in Marte also. The only reason I say maybe not because a GM might need to come in, maybe do a year with Torrey. 1, see how that works out. But 2, kind of like what Dale's talking about. You're not adding payroll anything. Give you a year to get your guy in here. Maybe the guy you want isn't available this year. So you get the GM in here established, get the organization moving the right way. If Torrey's not the guy, out. Got your guy ready to go. You give him a year to do it. So 27, when you get Corbin back, Puck back, Martinez back, you're ready to go at that point with these young guys. I think that's at a minimum of what you have to do. I would rather see them all go, to be honest with you. Dale, we got playoff baseball. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but Red Sox, Yankees start
Open
tomorrow
up
night.
the playoffs.
I know. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing to watch out there. Tigers, Guardians, matching up for those two teams as well. Tigers being the 6th seed going into the playoffs here as well. Then Padres, Cubs. This is going to be a fantastic series, this Padres-Cubs series.
Remember,
Coming up.
I tell you, and you know this, sometimes I don't remember yesterday. I don't know what I had for breakfast this morning.
You don't know that it's 400 East Van Buren, yes.
But I do remember the 1984 playoff series between the Padres and the Cubs because WGN had just come out. And
No lights,
day
games.
And I was a huge Cubs fan, and you sit there and look at it, and they were up 2-0, and then they did what Cubs do all
Right,
the time.
Sandberg, Hawk out there in center field.
And the pitcher now, it's slipping my almost
Sutcliffe?
said.
Was that Sutcliffe in 84?
Yeah, because I almost said Rick Russell, but
Rick Sutcliffe.
but
yeah.
it's
Mark
Sutcliffe.
Race there at first.
I don't know if he was there. I don't know if he was there yet.
84 might be a little early. Sean Dunston would have been early for Dunston, wouldn't it? At that point. at
Anyway, I
shortstop.
just remember that series and how devastated I was.
I was 7. You got Reds, Dodgers. The Reds making the playoffs is fantastic for them. Young team. Their manager is one of the best of all time there. So that's going to be fun to see if they can do any damage against those Dodgers in this series. So kicks off tomorrow. We'll talk more about that, of course, tomorrow as well. And when we come back,
Hold on. The other thing is, I think you could have won some money if you said, hey, in the American League, the Mariners and the Blue Jays are going to be the ones who
Absolutely.
get to
Absolutely.
sit out the first round.
Houston, first time in 10 years they have not made the playoffs. 10-year playoff.
Yeah, and you said fire the manager last week.
Not with Houston.
Yeah, you did.
They're on a downhill slide. If it was Dusty Baker or that other guy, I would have said it. Would have said at that point. But first time in 10 years. 2016 was the last time they missed the playoffs.
Did they misplace the trash can?
It's, you know what though, they at least try. They didn't bench the trash cans, Dale. They didn't bench trash cans. Trash cans are out there. Come on back, folks. The main event, college football and Ryder Cup talk. And we're back here, main events. Appreciate you joining us. 600th episode. I'm celebrating with my voice sounding like it does out there. And of course, over the weekend, Dale was super excited about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I lost interest with the crowd doing what it was doing, the U.S. getting its butt kicked, just no desire to waste my time with the Europeans F-bombing the fans and doing all that stuff. Rory McIlroy going out there and on T1 going, bring the noise, and then when they brought the noise, he got mad at him and started crying a little bit.
Boy, oh, boy.
I lost all interest in it. The pairings on Saturday were unimaginative and garbage. The U.S. team can't punt. The number one golfer in the world, Scotty Scheffler, couldn't score a point to save his life over through Saturday as well.
Boy, oh boy.
That's my take on the Ryder
Boy,
Cup. Dale,
oh
what do you got?
boy, oh boy, oh boy. Golly.
Follow that, Dale.
I will say Friday, Saturday was very disheartening. And I have a different take on it. I think everybody's saying U.S. didn't play up to their standards.
I disagree with that.
I think Europe just outplayed them.
I think the U.S. played to the best that they could, and it's just not good enough.
And there's some guys on the U.S. team that I told you I had some hesitation about even when the team was announced. But I don't think it was because the USA didn't play well. As far as the fans.
They couldn't putt.
Well, they could putt. They didn't putt as good as Europe did.
Yeah, but even Keegan Bradley said we expected those greens to firm up harder.
Yeah,
What?
well, what are you going to do? And again, here's, if you want to go in the weeds with this thing, the guys who really follow this stuff, the home team gets to set up the course how they want the course to be set up.
And the home team should not be surprised that it's not set up, right?
Well, again, the one thing maybe you say you should have said, hey, there's going to be rain in New York in September, things like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the United States historically has really struggled in team play because our guys are individual players.
And I get that.
You know, and Europe, they're a closer bunch. We talked about it last week. The fact that when the tournament's over in Europe, guess what? They all go out and grab a beer.
You saw it with Rory and who was his partner on Saturday?
Well, Lowry is one of his
the
partners.
big guy, and I mean,
Shane
he was over
Lowry.
giving him hugs,
Yeah.
with the crowd doing that and like standing up for him.
Yep.
The only U.S. golfer that stood up for anybody was DeChambeau. He was ready to fight people. He was ready to fight some golfers.
But and as far as the fans, again, it's like a football crowd. If your team doesn't give you anything to cheer about, it's very easy to go quiet.
Yeah.
Number two.
Well, they didn't go quiet.
And then number two, and we were talking about this yesterday. You call me anything you want to call me. You jump on me. As I'm measuring the yardage or looking at a putt.
Yeah.
Heckle me all you want.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
when I step over the ball, you probably should calm down.
I agree with that. And don't go after the wife.
And do not,
Or girl.
under any circumstances, go after family. It's classless. I don't care what setting you're talking about.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's what turned me off onto watching this. Was it was happening.
Yeah.
You were seeing it on the broadcast, and a European golfer went after a caddy went on the DVD Chambeau, and I was like, "This, I don't want to watch wannabe fake, snotty-nosed crybaby golfers try to act tough."
It was Justin Rose and
Yes.
DeChambeau.
And it was just so Saturday I was like, I'm done. Saturday morning I was like, all right, good luck to you. Whoever wins this wins.
So America really, they had no chance going into yesterday's singles.
I was shocked to see they came back.
They came back and they had they made it interesting. It was fun for about an hour and a half because all of a sudden everything is going United States way.
Well, go ahead.
Now the thing that's now will come into play. It's interesting because Europe had one of their guys, Victor Hovland, hurt his neck.
This is the stupidest rule on the planet. Un-American rule. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. You snotty-nosed wussy golfers.
And the way that the Ryder Cup, I guess, has always done it
It's a
is that
rule.
if a guy can't play, each team gets a half a point.
Could you imagine last night? Lamar Jackson went down last in that Chiefs game.
Yeah.
And the NFL just went, you know what? You both get half a game. Let's just call the game and move on.
Right.
What?
Or Lamar Jackson goes down. Well, you have to take out Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't they put the U.S. team in a hat and they pull out the name?
Yeah, they
So you could have lost Scheffler yesterday.
Right.
If he was
and by the way, you also lost half a point.
Yes. Yeah, and you don't even get that. That is ridiculous. That is
And-
stupid.
And the half a point that Lowry got in his match, the next two matches the Americans were leading.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the last one was tied. So if they don't get that half point,
Yeah. If they would have gotten,
I'm not saying they should have, could have, would have
they
won.
could have gotten that point.
But-
they got that point because it forfeited.
Yeah.
You're a point closer, Dale.
Yes.
It's not a 2-point loss. It's a 1-point loss now. More competitive.
Yes.
It's the softest crybaby rule I've ever seen in my life.
Each team gets half a point. But anyway, it's kind of like in a football game or a basketball game where you don't show up in the first quarter,
Yeah.
and you're down 24-0. You make a great comeback.
But it has to do with who was on this team. Keegan Brad. Those pairings on Saturday morning were straight up garbage. They weren't good together. It was obvious it wasn't good together. Everybody before they teed off said these weren't good pairings.
Well, my
and they
buddies
still
and I
pushed them out there.
we talked, and I was hoping that Keegan Bradley had the onions to sit Scheffler Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, he almost needed to.
He struggled in the team competition, and I didn't realize. But when you look at Scheffler, he's struggled in 2 Ryder Cups now.
That's the only golf he struggles at, Dale.
Right.
The Ryder Cup.
Well, and the other thing, because when I was looking at it yesterday, because I had a friend of mine who was getting on me saying, Hey, don't ever compare Scotty Scheffler to Tiger Woods. And most people don't remember Tiger Woods, but in the Ryder Cup, 13 wins, 21 losses, and 3 ties.
He wasn't good either.
It's just, boy, it's.
But I think when you go to alternate shots, because he's really good at golf himself,
yeah,
and he knows I'm going to put this ball here. I know how to hit it out of there. If he has a miss hit, he knows how to hit out of it. When you don't hit that ball and you got to go out there, I think it can mess with those guys.
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt. And then, what ball are you playing?
Yes.
And you're playing a max fly. I play a Titleist. I don't like max fly.
I get more backspin on.
Yeah.
This ball gets more backspin, and maybe I don't know. But maybe Scheffler plays for more of a roll. You don't get that roll anymore.
I told my buddies that what they should do is just for those 4 matches, 4 sets of matches, Friday and Saturday, just get whatever ball it is, take all the logos off of it, and just play it.
Just on your
and
mind.
just play a golf ball.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating to watch.
These guys know when that ball hits their club, they know exactly where it's going in the distance. It is rare they don't because of the stick that they're used to playing and the ball that they play. So to have that difference, another deal. But Ryder Cup in the back, I'm good. I'm glad it's going back to Europe now for a couple of years, maybe.
Wow. Well, and then Rory, after the last win in Rome 2 years ago, said we're going to beat the United States in 2 years, and they did.
I said it when the pairings came out, when they said the U.S., I go, this team's going to get its butt kicked. It wasn't. We got to go to, yes, matchups matter, but we got to stop going down to the 15th ranked person and putting them on this team.
But
bypassing a bunch of guys.
But see, here's the thing.
You got to stop it.
Here's the thing. Justin Rose was not ranked in the top 20.
Yeah.
But
I know.
He's got a history
That's
of
different.
tenacity and Ryder Cup.
And he's been around
Yeah.
and has that history.
Yeah.
Going down to, I'll just throw Cantlay out there, but you could throw, who's the other guy? Hatton, maybe? Who's the other guy I'm thinking of?
You mean for Europe or America?
No, for America.
Not Hatton, then.
You could have had a better guy on that. A guy that's been there before, a guy that played better in that scenario than that. Yeah, not Hatton. I'm forgetting who it was. But and it's just like we got to stop doing these things. Maybe it's in a situation like the Diamondbacks where there's too many cooks in the kitchen. And picking these guys, and it's political, and then the groupings are political. You can't tell me that guys that when they were grouped with other guys weren't like, all right, you sure?
Oh, I see. I don't know about that. I thought that Keegan did a really good job of having them play together and try to match up personality.
I know. I saw a lot of that saying it's not Keegan's fault. The matchups were pretty bad. They were talking about it before they even teed off on Saturday. They're like, ugh, you sure about these pairings?
Yeah,
buddy?
the pairings were.
Hey, I found some old footage of Dale, folks.
Oh no!
You guys want to see it?
Oh no! Oh no!
It's actually surprisingly clear as we are. I just simply labeled this video "Big Offensive Lineman" because we saw in that Cowboys biopic how tall you were, which shocked me. You just towered over everybody. Poor people in the first couple of rows couldn't see anything.
No, that's all they wanted to see was me.
Over you and everything. Let's look at old footage of Dale here.
The left, they got Caden Proctor, the big tackle on the left side.
He's lined up outside there, folks.
Big fella, barreling downhill. Proctor marshaling down near the pylon.
Okay, Proctor, 74, 6'7", 359 pounds. Caden Proctor.
He's our starting left tackle.
366 pounds in the offseason. He vertical jumped 32 inches, broad jumped 9'3". He squatted 815 pounds, bench 535 pounds, power cleaned 405 pounds. Dale, is that just like watching you back in the day right there?
There's not one thing that reminds him or me of him.
Have you ever, you've been in practice, but Coach, just throw it to me one time?
Well, the thing is how easy he made the catch for.
Oh, my gosh. It was a beautiful play. But I swear to God, he was fighting. He was swinging as he's hitting those defenders. He's just like, let's go. I told Dale I saw the still pick, And it's just like his calves are all muscly. He's got the ball tucked in like a running back, and he's just got this mean look on his face. And you just see like 2 Georgia helmets. And I'm just like imagining what those Georgia defenders are thinking as he's running towards them.
I'm shocked that nobody hit him down below the knees and
Go
grabbing
low.
ankles. And
I don't know, dude, those legs. I don't know if you want to get hit by that knee or something.
no, I
on
said
accident.
I said below the knee,
Yeah.
grab onto an ankle.
I don't know. Could you imagine breaking your helmet open on a guy's foot, Dale, as he's running to the 1 yard line?
Run that back again and just watch when he catches the ball. Make sure he catches the ball.
Yes, he
And
does
then
do
it's
that. Give him
and then go ahead.
Yeah. Play it.
They got Caleb
Watch this.
Clark
He makes sure he catches it, steps back, catches, and then right there.
downhill. Prosper wrestling down near the pylon.
I mean, if he wasn't up against the sideline, he would have scored.
I get the cornerbacks wanting nothing to do with that guy.
Yes.
I get that. But there's a couple of linebackers in there that were like, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I usually hit him in the hole. It's usually where I see this guy, not out here in the open.
Yeah, well, and usually in the hole, he's got about a 2.5 yard start at me. Now he's got an 8 yard start at me.
I cannot get enough of this. I get it. It's a different level of athleticism just by his numbers and everything. I get it. But if you have a kid even remotely athletic like that, you've got to do this play call. This is fantastic.
Well, you know what that's going to do, and now it's going to set up. You'll see him at some point probably going. Because did you see him step back?
Yeah.
I mean, step back like he's a wide receiver.
That's what I'm saying. Pure athleticism is what that's what I noticed. Like when I saw it, because I had the game on and I was kind of not paying. I heard him giggling, so I saw but when I saw it, it didn't register in my mind at first that was an offensive lineman.
Right.
You know, I was like, maybe a big tight end or something. And then I was like, wait, what? It looked natural compared as well. So Robert chimes in as well. Breaking news here on the program. Giants fire Bob Melvin.
Really? Bring him back.
Robert says a proactive team. That's all I'm going to point out as well. Giants were disappointing this year. They pumped money into the team.
Made the big trade.
Yep. For what's his name? Devers.
Devers.
And the organization day after, we're going to move on from you. You know, same thing with the Cardinals, right? That I talk about. Falcons fired their wide receiver coach, you know, and made a move to try to bring that up. Are you going to sit here and do nothing, or are you going to try to get better? I'm not saying the Giants are going to get better by firing Bob Melvin, but they're at least trying to, right? We know what it is now. We know what the Giants are now as well. Robert also says it's not a popular opinion, but Koepka and DJ could have been worse than some of the other guys. Couldn't have been worse than some of the other guys on that team. No, that's my argument. There were guys sitting at home that I don't think would have been worse, played worse than some of the guys that were out there playing this weekend in the Ryder Cup.
And there's a couple of the captain's picks. You know, again, the top six, Keegan
stuck.
Bradley, you don't have.
But
you
you
don't have
want the
choice.
top six. I have no. If you're
would
top,
think-
I would argue get the top 12 in there. Take it out of the captain's hands. Get the best golfers there, Dale. What is this NCAA playoff picking here, where you just put Notre Dame in even though they don't belong?
Wow.
I gotta get my shot in. So breaking news there: Bob Melvin out for them as well. And then, hey, let's check in with Arizona real quick, Dale. Let's see how it's going for them over there at Iowa State, Ames, Iowa.
Levison is the punter. Townsend set to return, and he will get drilled. Oh, my goodness. That's got to be a penalty. Man,
Two
that is
things.
a dangerous,
Two
scary
things.
play.
One, I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often. Send the message early that you're here to play physical. Now they're already down 8-0. Two, the announcer going, that's got to be a penalty. Yeah, every flag. I think a couple flags came in from the stands on that play right there as well. So it did not get much better for Arizona after that. They now, into the half, they kind of stayed in the game a little bit. Arizona's problem was, and it just, Arizona fans are going to take this as me being negative, right, for him. Take it as you will. They're a good team, and they're going to have success this year. They're going to win 6 or 7 games this year. I believe so with their schedule coming up if they keep playing like they're playing. They aren't in Iowa State's league. They're probably not in Arizona State's league. They're not in, Houston's league probably. They're not in the upper tier.
What about BYU?
We're going to find out. They play in, in 2 weeks? 1 week?
Yeah.
They aren't in the upper echelon year competing for a Big 12 championship. They're not that level, but they're better than average. They went and got smacked down by a team that is really good in the Big 12. They're not at that level. Nothing bad against them. It's just that's what we learned on Saturday night.
And it was in Iowa. It wasn't down in Tucson.
It was happening in Tucson, too. They were out-physicaled. Iowa State was bigger.
Not that one happened in Tucson.
Iowa State was more physical. Iowa State was faster. It was like watching Hamilton versus Centennial on Friday night, Dale. It was just a mismatch. There's no other way to put it. They're not there yet. Here's Noah Fafita after the game talking about the slow start that they got under.
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard. Losing is always difficult, but there's a lot to learn from it. You got to be able to start faster, especially offensively. Got to help our defense out when they get us those big time stops. So I'll eat this one, and I know Coach Deggy's taking it personal as well. So we got to help Coach Deggy right, and we got to get back to the drawing board.
A lot of background noise there, but I mean I like him as a quarterback. He had no reason to take any blame in that game whatsoever. Zero fault was his in this game. And he sat there and said, "Look, it's my job to get better there." I like him a lot in his press conferences to that effect. It just sucks that Jedd Fisch left him. Noah Fafita might be the best Arizona quarterback of all time if Jedd Fisch wouldn't have left him. Or if he would have gone with Jedd Fisch. Jedd Fisch leaving is what derailed his college career. And that's sad to see. Blame Jedd Fisch for that.
You know what's so fascinating to me is that, like, if I was the head coach, that's how I teach all my quarterbacks to respond in post-game news conferences and games that we lost. When he said, "I'll eat this one."
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's not him.
Yeah. But he takes it on.
But he takes it on. And that's a redeeming quality. Your guy, you never walk into the locker room as a guy who was one of the guys responsible for losing the game, not knowing that you were one of the guys responsible for losing the game.
Yeah.
And you also know the guys that weren't responsible for losing the game.
Yes.
And you have a different show of respect for that.
He just handled himself well.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a game of just, you knew early on Arizona was not winning this game. You could just tell it. You could see it. And it's not on the players at all. If anything, it's on the coaching staff and not getting those level players there and stuff like that. But it just hit me after the news conferences, watching them on Saturday, watching that game. And I just went, man, if I was an Arizona fan, I know they already hate Jedd Fisch. You got to hate him even more because you got to give Fafita a lot of credit, man. He would be, I firmly believe, he would be a nationally renowned top-level quarterback in college football if he had Jedd Fisch as his coach still, whether it be at Washington or whether it be at Arizona. And that's what's derailed him. And that's disappointing in my eyes.
Well, one of the things that's always plagued Arizona, even going back to when I was coming out of high school, is their lack of physicality up front. It's always hard. You'll get the occasional skill guy to go to Tucson, but it seems really difficult offensive line and defensive line wise to get.
Yeah, even the Desert Swarm had some talent, but that was a lot of linebackers
or undersized guys and things like that.
They just hit
and that was what, 2 years, 3 years.
What was Chuck Cecil's years and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Rob Waldrop.
Yeah, right. Then you got the ASU game on Friday night. I mean, look, we could sit here today and be absolutely negative about that game, and a lot of people were. I listen to. If you guys don't know what I do, we go to the games. I listen to the post game. I listen to the call-in show. I do all of that stuff to take it all in. I listen to the people that sit around us there, and they all know everything about football, right? And all of that stuff. I take it all in and kind of get their perspective from that side and things to that. You can be really, really negative. I said this a couple weeks ago, and I firmly 1,000% believe it now. we were worried about the players reading their press releases coming into the season and underperforming. I believe the coaches are the problem with this team.
How so?
They don't set them up properly to start games. Slow starts, slow starts, slow starts. I swear to God, everybody and their dogs knows that they're going to run a small screen to a wide receiver in the red zone that's going to get stuffed, and everybody knows they're going to try to run it off a tackle in the red zone and get stuffed. The red zone offense is terrible. It is egregious. It is the most awful thing, and I sit through Cardinals games as well, folks. And the Arizona State red zone is 10 times worse than anything the Cardinals put out there. And they don't want to fix it. They can't fix it. And it's disgusting to watch. That being said, coaches need to pull their heads out of their butts. Brian Moore did a good job. He was getting his butt kicked at the beginning of that game. Down 17-0. That defense couldn't stop a cold going on out there right now. They were that bad. And they turned it around and shut him down. TCU had 10 rushing yards in the fourth quarter, Dale. Do you know how hard that is? You can fall forward and get 10 rushing yards sometimes. That's how good the defense played. And that offense, when it gets in the red zone, turns into some magical, we forget how to play football plays. And they kick field goals, in this case, miss a couple field goals.
Yeah, what happened to our Jesus?
The first one, that win was those flags on top of the thing.
Oh, were they?
Were like, ding. It is this. I'll say this. This team is so gritty. This team will win every close. They're gonna eventually lose one, but this team has no problem playing in the games that a lot of teams cower in, and those are those close, down to the wire games. If they can solve their beginning of the game stuff, if they can solve their red zone scoring issues, this team's unstoppable. But those are two very big things that they cannot fix and have not fixed as of yet. And you got Utah coming up, Texas Tech coming up, Houston, who's 5-0 coming up,
Iowa State
on the road. You've got to figure out how to start these games fast on offense and not be down 17 points, 14 points in the first quarter, and you've got to figure out how to punch it in for a touchdown when you're in the red zone. When you're at the first and 3, and you can't get it into the end zone, that is just twice, by the way, dereliction of duty on the coaching staff from that point. Stop reading your press clips about how great you are as a coach. Humble yourself. Sit down and figure this out moving forward. That's all I can say about that.
How about my boy, Cade Bennett?
Oh, my gosh. Well, really quick, Sam Levitt after the game, because this cracked me up. Sam Levitt after the game, and then I'll wrap up with Cade Bennett.
Yeah, it's just what we do. Been doing it since last year. Didn't get it week 2, and honestly, I thought that was the biggest blessing that we had because, if we got that one, then maybe we don't get this one, and obviously league play is more important. So it's just what we do, and, big props to the defense. And boys come up big every single time. Like I said earlier, on that last drive, if y'all was to put a heart monitor on me, I ain't got no beat. So just cold-blooded for the defense, seeing them out there.
Where is he from? Trying to place that accent.
Midwest.
Really?
Because he went to Michigan State, originally. I love that. I love the confidence of him. He's a prototypical quarterback. He gets the job done at the end. No matter what badness happens in a game, it don't faze him. That's why it kind of cracked me with the ice cold, cold-blooded thing. But it also worries me how comfortable he is in the way they're playing right now in these close games. It also worries me a little bit. It's almost like, yeah, we're good, right, as they go through it. Good win by ASU. I expected it to be close. It was close. ASU came back and won it. It's just, if they can, beginning of the game, red zone, this team's going play. This team would go to the playoffs and dominate and do some damage in the playoffs.
He's from Oregon.
Oh, is he? Oh, is it Oregon?
I was just trying to place that accent.
Oh, I thought it was Midwest. Yeah. Your boy Cade Bennett, 60 for TCU. Obviously,
left guard.
Notre Dame prep.
Yep.
Went to school here. Oklahoma State, right?
Oklahoma State, San Diego State, now TCU.
And you brought him up before when he was at San Diego State and things like that. And you've worked with them in the past. As the game went on, I lost track of him because ASU's defense just started dominating, getting pressure on their quarterback. You know, and it wasn't Cade Benton. But in those first couple drives that TCU had, he was creating holes that, Dale, you could have ran through.
Right.
He was hitting ASU defensive linemen, and they were just literally looked like a road grader on a truck, just sliding off to the side. It was fun to watch, man.
Okay.
At the beginning of the game, so
you could see the hell straight coaching. That's what you say. Did you tell? Hey, you say, "Hey, Autumn, watch the left guard."
I wouldn't go that far. And I lost him as the game went on, which I was kind of. But I mean, TCU's offense just got over. That's the other side. I am not a Sonny Dykes fan. Way too much trickery in his offenses and stuff like that. First half, at least first quarter, ASU's coaches got outcoached. Period. End of story. All of them. Second half, though, Sonny Dykes and that TCU coaches, they didn't know what to do with themselves. They were lost out there with Hoover and, you know, those receivers. And they run a good offense, man. They got some receivers on that team. Jordan Tyson, all-around stud. The running game for ASU, all-around studs. I just don't understand why it's slow starts all the time, Dale.
Well, maybe they thought the games would be called.
Welcome to our 600th edition. Thank you for joining us, I should say, for our 600th edition of the show here in this iteration. New studio, no cake with candles.
No cake, no dancing.
I don't know if you noticed.
Music.
It's not like you can just run down. There's a CVS and stuff right down the grocery store right down the road, but it doesn't open until 10, I was told. Because they were going to get makeup for my poor
Could have
head.
brought in breakfast sandwiches.
I didn't even think about it. I was
You had a
nervous
big
today.
weekend.
We had to come in and get stuff done.
Oh.
McCollum on Business coming up at 11 o'clock here today as well. Programming note, Pit Stop will be tomorrow for the look back. We're just getting these shows done. We're going to adjust some things, and we'll do that tomorrow as well. But, Dale, some success here. You were worried it wasn't going to work out.
Oh, I left on Friday figuring I'd have a long weekend and maybe through Tuesday. But you put Riley on the job and things get done.
Yeah, if it was me, we'd still be moving a desk up here. I'd be like, Dale, grab the other end of this desk and let's move it up finally.
We would have one camera and I'd be leaning in and you'd be leaning in.
We'd be next to each other. Yeah, we'd be like this back and forth. Great. Let us know any feedback you guys got. Like I said, this temporary here. We got another desk coming and some other things, but excited to be here and moving on. So appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see you all tomorrow, everybody.